I'm Mark Jowett from San Gervasi. This is the Rorschach, Georgia update from the 28th of November, 2024. Happy Thanksgiving. Quick summary of what's going down in Georgia. Monday the 25th, the newly elected sham parliament gathered for its first session since all four opposition parties that won seats didn't recognize the election's legitimacy due to the extremely well-organized cheating. The only officials to show up were from the Georgian Dream or Otzneba. Foreign diplomats were not invited to the first session, breaking a tradition. Shalva Papuashvili, Speaker of Parliament, said this was to avoid interference in Georgia's internal affairs. But obviously, and as the opposition said, it was done to avoid the embarrassment as European diplomats would have refused to attend because of all the cheating. President Zurabashvili also did not attend, calling the one-party parliament gathering a black day in Georgia's history. While we're on the topic of political parties, on Tuesday the 26th, the election administration canceled the registration and electoral lists of three opposition coalitions: the Coalition for Change, Gvaramia Melia Girchi Droa, or Tavisuplevistis, the Coalition Unity, or Irtianoba, United National Movement, or Natsebi, and Strong Georgia Coalition, or Dzlieri, which includes Ledo. The coalitions themselves requested the cancellation. They argued that the election results were not legitimate and did not intend to enter parliament. They also promised to cancel their parliamentary mandates, which requires every politician to make an individual request from the election administration. The opposition wants Otzneba to be the only party in parliament to delegitimize and isolate them from Western democracies. However, representatives of Otzneba believe the opposition will eventually enter parliament and claim their seats. We'll see. On the same day, Gogi Gacharia, leader of the Party for Georgia, or Sakartvelostis, made a statement about the party's plans. He said that neither Otzneba nor the Natsebi would bully him into playing by their rules. While staying vague on the details, he reiterated that the party will not legitimize the current parliament and that they don't plan to participate in the president's elections set for the 14th of December. According to Gacharia, the country is in a deep political crisis. This won't be solved if the opposition's only plan is to cancel the mandates. On Wednesday, the 27th, Otzneba announced Misha Kavelashvili as their candidate for the presidency. Kavelashvili is a former professional soccer player who played for Manchester City and several Swiss football clubs. He entered politics in 2016 as an MP for Otzneba. In 2022, Otzneba had him and a few other obedient members of parliament who would do exactly what they were told, set up the so-called People's Power Party. Purpose was to have an even more aggressively anti-Western party that Otzneba could then pretend was real and would make them look more mild or centrist by comparison. And for that party to suck up government-obedient media time and attention. Virtually everybody in Georgia understands this pretense. All members of People's Power were on Otzneba's electoral list during the parliamentary elections, of course. Bidzina Ivanishvili announced Kavelashvili's candidacy, describing him as the best representation of a Georgian man, despite his lack of formal higher education. Kavelashvili was one of the MPs who initiated the Russian law. This week, Meta, the company operating Facebook and Instagram, took action against pages belonging to the Georgian state propaganda TV channels, Imedi and Post TV. When users try to follow any of their Facebook pages, they receive a warning saying this page has repeatedly shared false information, or the page has shared posts that repeatedly violate our community standards. On Monday, the 25th, several of Post TV's pages were not searchable on Facebook for several hours, but came back online later on. Not the first time Meta has taken such actions. Facebook page of Imedi shared several misinformation posts even about the United States elections, which Meta tagged as false. In other news, on Tuesday the 26th, during a meeting organized by the Commonwealth of Independent States, an organization that consists of former Soviet states and that is the new entity housing Russian colonies, Sergei Lavrov, Russia's foreign minister, said that the collective West was trying to destabilize the situation in Georgia and organize a revolution by questioning the sham election results. As we have said, these sham results were easily proven to be false. Manifesting Lavrov's paranoia, he said that the West is using NGOs to achieve this goal, not just in Georgia, but also in other countries of the global South and global East, including some of the members of the Commonwealth of Independent States, which is what he calls the new Russian Empire. On Friday the 22nd, Another Georgian fighter was killed in Ukraine. The family of the deceased, Levan Lohiashvili, shared the information on Facebook, which the Ministry of Foreign Affairs later confirmed. Since Russia's invasion of Ukraine, more than 70 Georgian fighters have lost their lives in the conflict. Georgians have been fighting on Ukraine's side since 2014 against Russia. The Georgian Legion, which operates in Ukraine, has over 1,000 members, many of whom are not Georgian. It is by far the biggest international brigade in the Ukrainian army. Next up, the international nonprofit organization Reporters Without Borders published its annual Press Freedom Index. According to the results, Georgia ranks 103rd out of 180 countries, putting it in the bottom half, marking a significant decline from 2023 when it was in 77th place. On the other hand, Armenia's situation has improved. It's now leader in the region, ranking 43rd. Norway is first on the list, while Eritrea holds last place. On Tuesday, the 26th, Vakhtang Gomalauri, Minister of Internal Affairs, said that his department plans to spend 17 million lari, about $6 million, to create a DNA database in Georgia. The law required to establish the database has passed its first reading in Parliament and is expected to be finalized this year. Gomalauri stated that providing DNA samples will be mandatory for convicted felons and defendants, despite complete government control of the judicial sector, but it will be voluntary for everybody else. On another note, Belarusian dictator Alexander Lukashenko is planning to build a 300-unit, 5-star resort hotel and spa in Georgia's breakaway region of Abkhazia. Dmitry Bolkunets, a Belarusian political analyst, shared this information on Saturday, the 23rd. It's based on documents that were leaked on the Abkhazian news portal's Telegram channel. According to the documents, Lukashenko has ambitious plans for the project, which includes 3 restaurants, several pools, recreational areas for kids, VIP lodges, and a harbor for luxury yachts. 2022, during his visit to the breakaway region, the Abkhaz government gave his private investment company 20 hectares of land where he plans to build all this. On Tuesday, the 26th, research institute Gnomon Wise published an analysis of Georgia's budget for 2025. The article points out that if the current pace of economic development continues, Georgia's economy will catch up with the EU's poorest country, Bulgaria, around 2045 and will not reach the EU average economic indicators until 2070. The analysis concludes that the 2025 budget is not significantly different from the previous one. The government keeps growing in size and remains focused on increasing the number of state employees who, as we have seen from the recent sham election, are more easily influenced and coerced into loyalty to the ruling party. It also continues to significantly increase the budget for the State Security Service, otherwise known as SUSI, and the Ministry of Internal Affairs, again to garner loyalty since SUSI has increasing responsibility for propping up Otsneba state power in the absence of a democratic mandate. You can read the full article in Georgian in the show notes. Wrapping up this edition, the Oscar-winning Danish director Bille August had to cancel his plans to attend the Tbilisi International Film Festival. He was set to be the festival's main guest and receive an honorary Prometheus Award. The director explained that he canceled due to an insurance policy with his production company. The terms of the policy prevent him from visiting countries with high political instability risks while working on a movie. The director said that this is a standard rule. Since August will be absent from the festival, the honorary award will not be presented this year. The festival will take place from the 1st to the 8th of December. If you want to check out the movie screening schedule, it's in the show notes. And that's it for this week. Thanks for joining us. Before we leave, I want to invite you to listen to the latest episode of the Georgia Ramble, listed in the same feed as the regular updates. Every now and then we'll release a special episode that includes a more or less unedited conversation with a guest or two, in this case, 42 minutes long. This time, we sit down with Irinka Mamulashvili of ISFED and Hans Gudbrand, who wrote the 12 Daggers report, to talk about how Georgia Dream cheated in the 26th of October elections, exactly how and how do we know they did it. The link to the episode is in the show notes. Ahmdis.